when we booked the chamber in City Hall, as it happens, there was a happy but kind of lonely and nervous-looking couple at just the very same time as we went in to see the space and to talk about what we could arrange. And we found out when we got there that this couple actually didn't have, they were missing one witness. So the fact that we were there, we wanted to see the space, we hoped to see the ceremony. So they asked us if, of course we're welcome to come in, would we be, one of us be their required witness so they could legally get married, which of course we did. And I think maybe for both of us, certainly for me, there was a little nagging wonder in the back of my mind when thinking 2 weeks, a work day in the morning, wondering if our day would turn out to be at all like that. In retrospect, I suppose it was probably a reflection of the kind of obsessive tunnel vision quality of trying to figure out booking a space, trying to figure out what to wear, trying to figure out all of these things that I sort of lost sight of the fact that it was obvious that actually people would come and that every seat would be filled and probably a fair amount of the standing room would be filled. But in any event, it's been really wonderful. It's been really touching, the effort that people put into coming, and I know that we both are very happy about that. The past couple of weeks have been a bit of an emotional roller coaster, aside from the getting married aspect itself, which is actually mostly pretty easy. So the way that everyone has rallied around us has been really incredible, and it's something that's made some sometimes difficult days look a whole lot easier. On the topic of support from friends and family, and moving mountains to be here, I'd like to particularly express my appreciation for the lengths that my new, here we go, Schwiegervater, father-in-law, went to in order to be here today. We only actually booked the hall 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks and a couple days. So as you can imagine, that's precious little time to coordinate being away from work, being away from home, and booking flights from and to Germany with only really a week's time to visit. It must have been an overwhelming couple of days of travel, time difference, different language, as well as all the normal wedding sort of joyful chaos. But in any event, it means a tremendous amount that he was able to be here with us today. So thank you. Sorry, I'm afraid that's not the end. I haven't even turned it. It's with regret that I note that I haven't been able to spend much time with my new family in Germany, and this is something that I sincerely hope that will change in the future. However, despite the lack of time we've been able to spend together, I've been very touched and very fortunate by the friendliness and the acceptance and inclusiveness that I felt from Magdalena's family when we were visiting in Germany, when we were visiting her aunt and uncle in Israel, and otherwise through all the usual collection of Facebook and Skype and all these things. There are many special things about the experience of a wedding, but certainly one of the ones that has occupied a lot of my thought and time and consideration has been how to build and establish stronger relationships with my new family in Germany, and this is something that I'm honored to have the opportunity to do. The list of people to thank could probably be endless, including everybody in the room and many, many more. I'm not going to do that, but there are a few more people that I can't not take a moment to thank specifically. My mom and I have been through a lot together. And in this latest adventure, like all the ones before them, I've been incredibly and incomparably lucky to have her there by my side. There's no two ways about it. The weight of responsibility and expectation that falls on one's mother when getting married is not small or trivial. When we decided to get married in 2 weeks, my mom was actually in San Diego. And would be there for another few days still, which made an already very tight timeline kind of alarmingly short. To be honest, I was worried that she wouldn't be happy with the decision to move our wedding date forward 15 months, or that she might not see the reasons why we made this choice quite the same way. But in this case, as with so many other big events in my life, from the very first moment I told her about our intention to get married today, she's been amazing. Here we go again. She's been firmly, resolutely, 100% in both of our corners. She's been happy to do as much or as little as we needed her to, and has understood and supported us to the utmost degree. Thank you. Moving on, I'm actually still on the first page, I'm sorry. I would like to thank Harrison. Thank Harrison for his enthusiasm, his helpfulness, his warmth, and his successful fulfillment of that all-important responsibility and the timely giving. Thank you, Harrison. I'm delighted you could be a part of this day with us. Also in the category of can't leave the room, or can't even sit down, without thanking our Amos and Kateri. Fair enough. When I first started basic training, all those years ago, I hadn't the faintest clue of the kind of enduring friendship that I would find in Amos, and it's been a great stroke of happy luck for both Amos and Kateri and Magdalena and I to be in Toronto at the same time. They live normally in Ottawa, but we're all here at the moment. And to be able to spend as much time with them as we've been able to in this past year. They've been rocks for us. When many things around have been difficult and unpredictable. And for all their kindness, fun, and dedication, we're both enormously thankful. You two are amazing, and we're going to be awfully sad when you leave for Bulgaria, which is happening all too soon. That is, until we come visit you. Yeah. So, Magdalena and I didn't leave quite enough time in our preparations to discuss in any detail what we would each talk about in our speeches, in order to avoid repeating the same things again and again, which is a terrible risk when I have this much to read. However, one thing that we did discuss, at least in a framework sense, was that I would tell you a little bit about what happened when we first got together. It's an enduring shame that despite the amazing things that happened in both of our lives while we were in Jordan, accepting a few wonderful visits, none of you had the chance to share it with us. And when Providence struck and our paths finally crossed, we had only each other to share it with. So, I'm going to tell you a little bit of the background about things happened when we were first together, and I believe Magdalena will pick it up from where I leave off, and fill in at least a few more of the details. It's my tremendous luck that Magdalena didn't just volunteer to play in the Amman Symphony Orchestra when I was there playing, but she also sat right in front of me in rehearsals. She hadn't the foggiest clue that I felt this way, but I was immediately taken with her from the first time I met her. The first time we really talked was in the few minutes before an orchestra soccer game on a day off, which we had every week. We have slightly different recollections of this conversation. I distinctly remember time slowing down to a terrifying crawl, my heart thundering in my ears, and while we talked over a few pre-game stretches, I mostly managed to avoid saying anything I would terribly regret afterwards. Her impression was less notable. Apparently she remembers the moment passing by quickly, and me not really managing to say much of anything at all. I should note, that would not be destined to happen very many more times. What we both remember was being on opposite teams, and probably owing to my distinct lack of soccer skills, the two of us crashing into each other while chasing the ball and coming away with bloody shins on my part. So there you have it. Probably the first recorded case of love springing from a soccer collision. But as luck, or the lack thereof, would have it, I discovered shortly afterwards, to my tremendous disappointment, that Magdalena was already seeing someone. Reluctantly, I decided to respect the relationship and keep my distance, and so it went for another 8 months. We talked a few times and found interests in common, but never really had the chance to get past a few sentences here or there in orchestra breaks or in crowded parties. Obviously, though, things did not stay that way. In April, in 2011, I heard through a friend that her and her boyfriend had split up, and shortly afterwards, that same friend had a party where not too many people showed up, but Magdalena and I both happened to be there and got to talking. Meanwhile, that time slowing down to a crawl, ears thundering thing definitely started up again. She was, it so happened, a hiking enthusiast, and was looking for someone to go on a hike with the next time she had a day off. Even if it weren't for the fact that I had been dying for a chance to get out of the city and to go out into some of the amazing hills and valleys around Amman, I'd have gone just about anywhere she suggested without a moment's hesitation. The fact that it was also something that I wanted to do was a fantastic bonus. Anyway, I suspect that she's got more to say on what happened after that, and I promised her, and I'm not sure I'm keeping this promise, this isn't a great start in this regard. I promised that I was going to keep this short. And I'm probably not doing very well on this count, so I'll leave off with this part of the story right here. But I am going to say a few words about her. I think all of you here today have had the chance to get to know Magdalena a bit and to see and hear some of the many amazing things she does. And you probably have your own reasons and don't need to hear me tell you about what a wonderful and accomplished person she is. So I'm not going to tell you that. What I am going to tell you is how she is so wonderful and a source of so much happiness to me. Magdalena is curious and adventurous. If she wants to try something or to learn something, and she wants to try and to learn just about everything, she doesn't just talk about doing it, she does it. She's always up for something new, she is sympathetic and interested when there's something new I want to try, and whether she means to or not, her zeal and willingness to give things a shot rubs off on me. Then, if all goes well, it prompts the same thing in me, and if we're really lucky, that in turn rubs off on her, and things go back and forth that way. This quality probably goes hand in hand with her curiosity and adventurousness, but she's also independent and sure of herself. She may dispute this, but if you look at the things that she does and the things that she plans to do, there's no missing it. We're both independent people with our own interests, which happily mostly coincide, but this is a quality, each needing to be happy and satisfied within ourselves as well as jointly, that we both understand and cherish in one another. I've probably gone way over the 2 minutes I was supposed to take. No watch, I'm saving. So I won't dwell too much on Magdalena's other virtues, but this last one stands out. I first saw it when we went on that first hike, and it's been a constant throughout our time together. When things are difficult, when money is tight, or time is short, or we're seemingly lost somewhere in a nameless canyon, somewhere in the Jordanian desert. When things are tough, she's at her best. This quality, above all else, made me know that we'd be happy together and would be able to make it through whatever obstacles might appear in our way. She's adaptable, pragmatic, relentlessly good-natured, especially when someone needs help. Most times I can stand comfortably on my own, but when I need someone to lean on, she's there to help, even without being asked and without a moment's hesitation. Magdalena doesn't just make me happy being with her, although she certainly does that, but she also makes me happier to be myself. She makes good things better and bad things easier to pass through. I've joked a few times in the past few weeks, but this really isn't a joke at all. Of the list of big decisions and challenges in our lives at the moment, the biggest decision of all, the decision to get married, was by far the easiest. It was right, and there was never a moment's doubt. This one's short, I promise. The other things off on the horizon, the permanent residency process, and whatever other citizenship and visa challenges may be waiting, will probably test and try us. But we've got the biggest piece of the puzzle in each other, and the rest will fall into place sooner or later. In closing, it had to be coming sooner or later, and on the topic of things happening sooner or later, this has been a happy day, and one that we are really deeply pleased to have been able to share with you. But the simple fact that it happened so quickly has meant we haven't been able to spend as much face-to-face time with each of you, sharing today, sharing what's happening in your lives and our lives, as we might have hoped and might have planned. So I'd like to finish by saying a few words about our original wedding plan, 15 months ahead, and what we're hoping that all of you wonderful folks, I'm looking around and taking mental notes here, each and every last one of you wonderful folks, we're hoping you'll be able to do with us next year. As we may have told you, we originally planned to get married at City Hall in August next year, then to head up to my family's cottage for a big, fun, festive reception. Well, obviously the gap between the wedding and the reception has gotten a bit longer, but we are not going to pass up a chance for a party, least of all one at the cottage with all of you. So, we're very much hoping that you'll be able to join us next year in August at our cottage with the rest of our friends and family who couldn't come on such short notice. We can't guarantee good weather, or else we would have today, but we can pretty much guarantee a wonderful place, good food, drinks, wonderful people, and happy memories. Thank you all so very much for having been a part of this today. And now I'm going to turn things over to my dear mother.